What about my sweat equity?
Sweat equity. Sweat equity.
My sweat equity. My sweat equity.
Sweat equity.
What about my sweat equity?
Hey man, hey Eric Reginger.
Hey, Law Smith.
Yeah, that's how my hood friends say my name.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey, that voice you're hearing is Tyson Chef.
Oh,
I
hey,
get
you
it.
got it
I
right
got
this
it.
time.
I got
Very
First
good.
try.
But how's it spelled? People are gonna see it in the details. But
I know.
just in case they want to get a hold of you, you're about to drop a lot of info, a lot of pragmatic advice. I was almost like gonna cut you off 5 minutes ago. You're dropping a lot of knowledge. I was like, save it for the podcast kind of thing.
All right, no.
How do you spell your last name? Let's start there.
Exactly how it doesn't sound. It is SCHOEFF.
Okay. And then, so you're a business consultant.
Yes, sir.
You're just on with Ed on our 200th episode. If you want to go back and listen to that,
100%.
It was a swap cast. So kind of half of it was us asking y'all questions. Half of it was y'all asking us questions.
We didn't have enough questions.
I think you feel like you're underprepared for that, but no, I like the show where it's not really that, because the whole idea of a podcast is to have real talk, right?
True.
And when we've hung out before, not around the podcast stuff, and we can go back and forth on a lot of stuff. Hey, do you know about this? Do you know about this? Do you know about this?
Sure.
Like,
No, I'm with you. It wasn't the fact that I need to have a list or it's got to be completely formatted. It probably would have been beneficial simply knowing what the subject was, what we were going to talk about.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit.
No, that I like that on purpose,
Yeah.
not to let anybody know. Well, it became something when Eric came aboard,
Right.
And really coming into a role where we're equally co-hosting the show, that some of the shit I was talking about, he's like, I've never heard of that. And so it'd be like just,
Right.
I nerd out on,
like me.
well, he said it like this basically, but, no, but like some of the, I nerd out on some of I read Harvard Business Review for fun, that kind of shit.
Right.
And I know that's dorky and super nerdy. And so,
But we expect that out of you.
no, because I look like
No, everybody thinks he's a really cool guy.
No, I look like Nicolas Cage in Con Air, man. Like
you do.
no one thinks
You do.
So I when I started this thing, I used to have that chip on my shoulder because I know what I look like,
Right.
And I know no matter how much I would shave or put man bun in, put glasses
Right.
on, put like nice clothes on, I still have I'm still coming in at a deficit. So I just started going like, well, I'm just going to weave this in how I normally would talk about it anyway, and not try to be so, so formal and so, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are hiring us because part of the reason is, can I hang out with that guy?
Right.
Right. If we're in a war room, we got to do something in 48 hours. And
Yeah.
We got to just tough it out. It happens every now and again. Can you hang in the room with someone, like a writer's room situation where you got to get this done by a deadline and we got to do it now? And I think that's a big element of it.
That's exactly why people aren't hiring me. It's not because they want to hang out with me. That's the point I'm making.
I think you got contagious energy, man.
I have a lot of information in my head, depending on the situation, to help people out. But it's not because people want to hang with me.
Yeah.
per se.
Well, right. Well,
Though I am fun.
Some people don't
sometimes.
want to change, though. They ask for advice and they're not really asking for it.
That's true.
Yeah. And now I don't get frustrated. I used to get really frustrated about that.
I had somebody get pissed off at me the other day because I told her what the law was pertaining to how they were doing business, and that the way that they were doing business, they could get hit with major penalties.
Can you kind of go into detail a little bit more?
Sure.
What was the example?
Okay. Perfect example.
Because again, the show is about trying to help people that want to do their own business or
All right.
start up, or
Perfect.
you're stuck in a job you hate. Kind of
Anybody
thing.
with a restaurant or a bar should be listening right now.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Low margins.
yeah, there you go. So in this particular case, they were getting tips, right? And they had a POS system that allowed them to prompt for tips, but they were not reporting tips
off the books
to the
tips.
IRS.
Mm.
Ooh,
Okay.
right? Because in their mind, the
Like a
tip
good
was coming
American.
right. Tip was coming from the customer directly to the employee. So why should they have to report the tips?
Were they doing the thing like, if you could leave a tip in cash, that'd be a lot better?
yeah.
Were they
But
goading client like
actually,
customers?
no, they weren't, because here's the thing, and here's where they just really were missing it. because they've got this POS system. So every single credit card that they're swiping, that they're getting a tip on, the IRS knows that,
Right.
right? So the IRS, it's pretty simple to calculate. Okay, if you're getting X amount in credit card tips, chances are you're getting this in cash tips as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
So they weren't even doing the credit card tips?
No, they were not.
Oh my
Jesus Christ.
That's ballsy there. Whoa.
Well,
Now-
because
I mean-
because they were naive. I mean, but when I tried to help them understand it from a legal standpoint, now I'm the bad guy, right?
Right.
Right.
Your dad.
All right, right.
You're their
right.
dad.
You're
I'm
taking
dad.
food
But
out of their children's mouths.
You're the dickhead dad.
I
that
was.
situation.
It got even worse.
Because it gets a psychological level.
Right,
This is-
right. No,
yeah, yeah,
no. It gets even worse because, and it's like the dad because here's what a dad
Can't
does.
tell me what to do,
right,
Dad.
Right, exactly. But here's what a dad does. A dad tries to then help you out, right? Right.
And then
And you
puts,
don't want to listen to the advice, right?
and then
right.
puts beach nut in their eye.
It
Sorry.
should
It's a
do
David,
that.
It's a David Allen
Should
show.
I wish I could have done that, but yeah.
Was that chewing tobacco?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But so there's something called the FICA tip tax credit, right? FICA tip tax credit. The IRS knows that restaurants and bars with highly tipped employees, one of the problems is getting them to properly report tips, right? So the IRS is willing to give a tax break on any tip that takes you over, I think it's $5.25. In this situation, they were paying $11 an hour base fee plus the tips on top of that, which they weren't reporting, right? So simple idea. Hey, how about instead of paying a base fee of $11 an hour, let's say that the tips are $3 an hour, taking them to $14 an hour, right?
Okay.
How about you pay $7 an hour and $7 in tips? Same $14 an hour average, doesn't change anything, right?
Yeah.
Right? But it would have saved them about $5,000 a year in taxes, right?
Right.
Now
'Cause
that's
the-
a follow the advice type thing, but I'm the dad, so they got pissed off at me and basically told my company that they don't want to work with me.
See, I like cherish that advice because that's like a nugget, right? That to
Oh.
me, that is like, to me, I commoditize it in my head. Like that is a piece of information that is so valuable.
Oh.
And it for a service business like a restaurant like that, because it's got to bleed out to anything that tips.
Oh.
Any retail ish restaurant business that tips like that, right?
Let's put it this way. Ed, on the show the other day,
Ed Keels,
right.
Aforementioned from the
right?
200th episode.
BeyondBreakeven.com, right? And
.net.
.net.
yeah, that, what you said.
EdKeels.com.
Yeah, nice. nice.
EdKeels.com and soon to be Small Business Edge.
Right, Small Business Edge. Going to be a great show, by the way. Anybody who wants to follow great business advice
Yeah.
should
Yes.
be log into that.
And
show.
As their producer, I have sat there through every one and paid attention, which is a big, I mean, it's not exactly easy when I'm doing a bunch of other stuff, but I have learned something from every one of the podcasts that I've produced for you guys.
Oh, and Tyson didn't even know about the soundboard for our show, I don't think, because we didn't even use it last time.
Soundboard. We got a soundboard?
I like to
Give him,
keep
give him some sweet Lou.
It's either a leg thing, or a spiritual thing, or a psychological thing.
Sweet.
It makes me so happy.
Arr.
That makes
my
me so
favorite.
happy. The general manager from for Major League.
Major
Yeah.
League 2, actually.
Well,
Just so you know.
he's still the same
I'm just
guy.
saying, if
He'd
you're going
play
to look
both
for that
parts, okay?
classic.
Yeah. No, so
we should hold on. We should get.
Hold
a,
on. This is going
this
to
is
be
gonna
good.
be great.
Can't wait.
We should get.
Look
We
at this.
should get the same Rip Tearaway
Ah, that
thing of
is
the
great.
owner
That is good.
for every
Oh,
review.
oh, yeah. Oh,
Every
yeah.
review
Yeah.
we get from this audience, we should keep tearing it away. But
right.
we
We-
got to
Yeah.
think of a better,
but we need a
better
poster.
version,
We need yeah.
Yeah, we got.
or the same chick,
Yeah.
the same exact one.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
I think we should do that.
Yeah, could be a ding dong.
Any
behind
of
it.
you
Who knows?
printers out there, print one of those puppies up for us.
Yeah, we're gonna do it like
Sure
in a.
that's cheap.
I'm gonna get drunk and just print it out in a printer.
Just
printer
draw
and
it
just
on a
be
big
like,
piece
hey,
of
this would
paper.
be good.
Can you do it in 3D? 3D printer?
Eric, but that's more
What?
his
I don't
territory.
have- I don't.
You're
I don't
more
have a
the-
3D printer.
We-
I'm not familiar with 3D printing. I've seen amazing things done with it on
Oh,
Reddit.
let me tell
but,
you.
I mean,
My son-
There's one at the homeless shelter. I mean, library in downtown.
My son is studying at Ole Miss in a
I almost forgot. Hottie Toddy. God
Hottie
damn.
Toddy. Oh, hey, Hottie Toddy.
yeah, you just thought of that because you went to Auburn.
It
Blah,
was-
blah,
No, it's
blah.
it's an Ole Miss
Yeah,
thing.
it's an Ole Miss thing.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
in a program called Manufacturing Excellence, and they have these amazing 3D printers. They were hired by the government to do 3D printing of guns,
Yeah.
right? Because they wanted to determine if they left a signature or not It's a pretty cool thing.
The
Mhm.
signature.
Right, because when you think of firing a bullet, you've got the rifling on the bullet, and so the bullet itself you can trace back to the actual gun, right?
Yeah.
But what if you 3D print a gun? How are you supposed to trace it back? So can you trace the gun back to the printer?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Right.
Because you could trace pieces of paper from regular printer papers too. They have a whatever it is. I don't know how they get it in there, but every piece of paper you print has a little signature of the printer that you printed it on somewhere.
And like a patent on a design, like the 3D, I guarantee like the guy who makes the 3D printing like guide to do it, he's got to put his stank on it.
Right.
This is what a lot of programmers got to do. A lot of people got to be like, this is my baby. And I gotta show them how to do it. And so all the designs are probably different where you could probably figure out, eventually who did it.
Right.
What they were trying to do was put a fingerprint scan on the trigger too.
Oh, that's a thing already.
Yeah.
Not even for 3D printed.
But we're
ones.
just not going to get rid of all the guns that are not, like serial wiped away,
Yeah.
and it'll just create another
Serial
market.
number
It'll
shaped
It'll
down.
create another market or a bigger market of. Anyway, we're getting down a weird road. I
we
don't know
are
enough
getting down-
about guns. and
I
so
know a lot about guns. What do you want to know?
I've never shot one. I'm not against
Really?
it. No,
Right.
I'll go do it. I've just never
it
shot
makes
it.
no sense to
I've been
me that-
hunting and haven't shot a gun.
Right.
I sat in a deer
They
stand
give
for
you a
5
stick.
hours
Yeah.
waiting for a goddamn deer to come
Yeah,
by.
all I know is that anybody who is, I probably shouldn't say this, but it might piss off your audience. I don't want to piss off your audience.
No.
Impossible.
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 Look, you can be the heel, you can be the hero. You can make it wrestling if you want. I don't care.
Oh, wrestling. I was a wrestler. I wrestled.
How many lives
Pro?
have you lived?
You're a pro?
No, not pro.
Oh,
High school,
man.
high school wrestling. Yeah.
See that
How many
singlet.
How many things do you do?
Well,
You're like guns. I got you. Carnival. I was
Wrestle
a carny.
that gun out of your hand.
I was a scuba instructor.
Small.
How about that?
Small
Wow.
hand smells like cabbage.
For fun, in college, just like you did fun things.
Yeah.
For fun, on the side, I studied underwater archaeology, had the
Oh,
opportunity of
that's
working on the
cool.
wreck of the 10 cells in the Cayman Islands, and was actually at Mel Fisher's Treasure
I'm gonna
Salvers
steal that line.
the day that they got the call that they found the mother lode of the wreck of the Etosha. Right.
Mm.
A lot of stuff right there. I just threw that out. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff, right? So where do you want to go with that?
I was just.
You
gonna
should.
throw-
Have you ever heard of Graham Hancock? He has a
Yeah.
book about underwater archaeology, basically,
Oh, there's
just
some
about
great
all
books
the
out there.
ruins. I mean, I read the whole thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that guy's. But if you
Oh,
are
brag.
into it,
Yeah.
underwater archaeology buffs, check that out because it's
Ghost
intriguing.
Divers. Great book. Ghost Diver. True story. Finding a German U-boat off the East Coast.
Is that like ghost loads?
It
Yeah.
could be.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's what Eric's shooting
Yeah.
now.
that's me.
Shout out to Dr.
My
Stein.
rapper name.
What was it? What was the book? Ghost.
Ghost Loads.
I almost wrote Ghost.
No,
Loads.
the
What?
book. I don't know. You want Tyson's
Ghost
book or
Ships?
my book?
Not your book.
My
Well,
book's good too.
all right, Graham Hancock. What is it? I'm trying to.
I don't
keep
even remember the name
I'm
of
trying
it.
to
Actually.
keep. I'm trying to get better about us having the links of stuff we're talking about after the show.
I don't know the name of the.
Great. What was your book? Sir?
Sorry.
Right, I think what is it? Ghost Divers. I think Ghost Divers. I
Ghost
think.
Divers.
Great.
name
I've got
of it.
two like half
Two and a
information.
half, yeah. But it's really good. We can always circle back around.
Is
And figure
it-
that one out.
we'll put it in the show notes and stuff.
But true story.
So as a business consultant,
Yes.
a lot of people will do that thing. They'll bucket you as jack of all trades, master of none, and
Correct.
that always sounds. To me, it always sounded good growing up, and they're
Yeah.
like, "That's not a good thing. That's not a compliment." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
I like being able to do a lot."
It
of
can
things.
be if you're good at the things.
Well, I think it's just we shorthand. I just think I think there's a lot of people that can be excellent at a lot of things.
There are.
and people project their own like insecurity of not being able to do as much sometimes as a lot of high functioning people like yourself.
Well, the only thing you need in order to be an expert is to just know more than the person you're talking to.
That is true.
Are you in
Just
our
ask my mom.
generation?
About her computer.
Because that is the YouTube generation. That is
okay.
the Dunning
Yeah.
Kruger or the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Is what our generation deals with because everybody thinks they watch YouTube video and now they know how to
Right.
leather stuff, or know how to like
Do epoxy resin art.
do
I don't know.
clean your knives on a strap. I was trying to think of the
Right.
strap.
Man.
Yeah.
That's strop.
Strap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Sharpening a knife. I mean, that's an art.
Yeah.
That is an art.
How many men have you killed?
That
I mean, this is a
yeah.
real interrogation show.
You know, it's funny that you asked.
You
that.
stuttered. It's not
Funny you
zero.
asked that.
It's not zero. So
litigation is pending.
and now I'm hoping this doesn't go down some like, well, I was in this war and
Well-
I had to fight my way out or something because this is not a good leading question.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to say that I've never physically killed anybody that I'm aware of.
Okay, so
Oh,
those
that's
hands aren't
badass.
registered.
How many mentally have you killed?
Therein lies the question, and that I don't know.
So
yeah.
before we got the mics heated up, we were talking about benefits,
Tax credits,
right?
right?
One thing I'll tell people out there, and your thing was more on the employer side. So a lot of people start a business. You're going to be the man eventually. That's the idea,
Right.
You can't just be a one man show forever. Pretty much with whatever you're doing,
Right.
So let me do this part for the people that are getting into that. Freelancers Union is a benefits place for healthcare, disability, liability, dental, retirement, and like term life insurance. And so when you think the risk of going on your own is that you can't get benefits, there's a bunch out there that are like this. There's one called because insurance is just a pool of money anyway.
Right.
It's just pulling people together.
Right.
So the more now we live in this gig economy, you're going to see a lot more of these pop up. You're going to see the big insurance companies probably, gobble up these entities. But for now, there's a bunch out there. But Freelancers Union is the one I've heard on podcasts and just friends of mine that works for you.
There's a lot involving benefits that could be, pun intended, a major benefit to a company.
Right.
I mean, you think about what our unemployment rate is right now, right?
The best.
So
Daddy Trump.
Hey, there you go. So
That-
what differentiates
Coolest
this company,
president of all time.
company A to company B?
There we go.
He is, if you see him with that beard and bald head in that picture that I was talking about the other day. I told you about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I vaguely.
I have this.
You got to remember, this is an ADD highway of stuff. So
I brought this with me, and
Tell that person.
man, I'm getting callers already. What's up with that?
Oh yeah, we have a
Still
phone
live.
line.
Oh.
We do have a phone line. I do want to open it up. God damn it! Now I don't have it.
Now,
Is it on here?
because I was just getting a caller. I was just getting a call from somebody else. But what I do have is a picture of Trump with a bald head and a beard.
Oh yeah.
Stick it in front of there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Put it on the
So
camera.
Tell me that he would not scare the crap.
Bring it a little
out
closer. A
of
little closer to the
Putin.
camera.
Right up on it. I
Right
want to
there?
see that
Better?
beard.
Better?
Oh my God. He looks like.
He looks like Jesse Ventura.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he looks badass. Does he not look badass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should go with that.
Yeah, I think he should. It has to
But
happen.
in one day.
It has to
Like,
happen.
somehow he has a beard,
Just make up until it grows in.
and they'll be like, "How do you have a beard now?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?"
The mullahs, the ayatollahs. I mean, they'll give up.
So tax credits.
All right.
Tax credits on benefits
All
for
right.
employers.
All right. So anyway, so the one that we were talking about, and we were talking about Ed. We started talking about Ed, went down a rabbit hole. Anyway, he has probably reviewed over 2,000 different tax statements from different businesses in his life.
God, I'm
He-
jealous.
He has never seen anybody take the FICA tip tax credit or the work opportunity tax credit. The FICA tip tax credit, of course, was geared to anybody doing tipping. Work opportunity tax credit is for anybody hiring. Anybody hiring. And they range from $2,400 to $9,600 per person, right? If they qualify, if they're eligible, right? I mean, I could go on and on and on about tax credits, right?
The work
So-
opportunity one, is that where you hire a felon or
Sell us on it like
some-
it's your tax credit.
I'm just
only if you want to hire a felon. All right, so
Elevator pitch.
right,
for it.
okay, elevator pitch. There are certain demographics of people that have a more difficult time finding work, right? So
Sure.
if you're a veteran, if you've been out
Oh,
of work
that's
for
right.
6 months or longer, if you've
But
got
we're
a
all the same.
disability, if you've been on some type of government assistance, if you're a convicted felon. So all of these groups, the government basically says, hey, these people have a more difficult time finding work. So if you hire somebody from this group, we will give you a tax credit. Okay. Now it's quite complicated on how to do it, and you got to deal with the government, which everybody's best friend. But the company that I work for, which I can't mention by name, but I will tell you that if you call in the show and want to speak to me directly, I will be happy to sit down with you. Long story short, our software automates the whole thing, so we make it very simple to get these tax credits. This guy down the street, this little place.
We got some people outside the area, so we're kind of in the Bourbon Street of Tampa. Just
Okay,
kind of
okay,
shorthanded.
all right,
Yeah.
okay,
Go ahead.
all right. They've got 4 tipped employees, right? On the FICA tip tax credit, which we talked about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
we could save him just under $6,000 a year. $6,000 a year on 4 employees in this little cigar / bar shop, right? On the FICA tip tax credit, we're looking at starting at anywhere from $8,000 going on up to about $16,000. Actually, it's more than $16,000. $8,000 to right at $20,000 a year based upon the number of employees he was hiring, depending on how he wanted to go about it, right? Huge tax savings, right? Money in your pocket. Work opportunity tax credits, dollar for dollar credit. It gets the taxes due at the end of the year. They're bankable for 20 years, and they show up as an asset on the books when you want to sell your business. Why wouldn't you do it? It's gold. It's beautiful, right?
Oh, wow.
But these are just a couple of ways. There's so many different ways to save money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was such thing as a bankable tax credit.
So yeah.
So he's got a dental practice with his wife.
Oh,
do what anything?
Yes. Free info. Give it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, okay. Do you own the building or are you leasing it?
We own the building.
All right. So there's something called a cost segregation study. Your typical CPA is going to depreciate a building over 39 years.
He does look like a white supremacist.
Am I?
What?
What?
That get
you
pulled
said
in?
segregation, right?
Yeah. Shut. Man. Now we're definitely going down the rabbit hole. All right. So anyway,
I got to make it a little lighter.
Sure, of course.
In this,
100%, because it's boring information.
It's
right?
not boring. It's
not for
just,
me. I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Right?
Some people are gonna be into it. Some people are, they're jogging. And
I'm going to save this man money. All right.
Take your hand off of that microphone.
Sorry.
You hear it buzzing?
All right. So anyway, typical CPA is going to depreciate assets of your building over 39 years. All right. Chances are you came in and you remodeled it when you first got in there, right?
No, we're still doing it.
All right. Everything that you pulled out had value. So if you would have had a cost segregation study done, and it's not too late, you can still get benefit out of it. What they do is they come in, they analyze everything about the building. They analyze, the flooring, the ceiling, the lighting, the artwork, the facade, the parking. I mean, everything about that building.
Mm-hmm.
Some things can be depreciated over 5 years. Some things, I think it's like 10 years, 15 years, etc., much faster than 39. The reality is, as a business owner, you're not going to hang on that building for 39 years. You're not going to do that. And chances are, as you hang on to it, you're going to remodel it again, right? So the cost segregation study allows you to place a value on each of these things. And then as you pull them out, you get to write it off of your taxes. And then you get to accelerate the depreciation of everything else that's in the building faster than the 39 years, right? It's huge.
Okay. So who does a cost segregation study? A CPA typically?
No,
is it a building appraiser? How's that work?
How do I hand this off to someone else?
It's a specialist.
I don't think I can go in and value things.
I know people that do this. So give me a call. I'll hook you up with the right people.
See, this is what being a business consultant, that's the third of the job, is being resourceful.
Right.
Like connecting.
But that's how I make my money.
Right.
Right. So it's okay, I'm going to save you this and I'm going to take a piece of it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to send it off. Now, in my main job, what I do is I simply try to throw out these little nuggets for free to help the business that I'm working with as a consultant. I'm still going to make money off of this, but it's a benefit to the business, right?
Yeah.
And that's what separates me with my company, which is payroll, HR, credit card processing. We also do business lending. We get into business analytics. We do all of this stuff, right?
I'm gonna get on y'all's stuff.
But that's what separates me from your average Joe Schmo salesman walking down the street is the fact that I've had 35 years of business consulting. So I know what the hell I'm talking about. Right. And the way I'm paid with my primary company, it's an ongoing residual as long as somebody stays a client. So if I can help them be more successful, if I can help them grow, I'm going to make more money. And I'm going to have a long-term client. Right. It's beautiful.
So if you don't help them,
if I don't help them,
you don't get paid. Is that how you're working?
Or if they atrophy, I lose money because as I hire more employees, I make money. Less employees, less money.
Yeah.
Do more volume on credit card, more money. Less volume, less money. Right. My pay's tied to it. So
and look, a lot of entrepreneurs out there, a lot of business owners or C-suite people, they don't put enough people around them to tell them no. They don't put people to go, hey, you can tell me any crazy idea you got.
And nobody wants to do it because they're afraid of getting on the wrong side of the boss.
Or or just the boss is insecure about going down a level and going, hey, what do you think about this? And you won't get honest feedback if you don't create a corporate culture kind of thing. And so the clients we have in here, half the time we're talking, it's like, hey, is it crazy if I do a direct mailer?
I will tell you.
No,
I'm going to tell you a true story. It's a cool story, true story. To exactly that.
Okay.
A good buddy of
You
mine.
can slow down. We
Okay,
got time,
got
buddy.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
A
I
good
feel like
buddy
you're
of my
like,
name.
I got to get all this
I
shit.
got
He's
it.
used to
I gotta
those
get this. All right,
8-minute
all right.
segments.
Oh, yeah.
If he's out there, John Fisher, we call him Fish, right?
Yeah, I know
work-
Fish.
Works in marketing for Nissan. He's in charge of their Heisman Trophy campaign.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So he's
No
the
big
one
deal.
that travels to all these games where they have the Heisman Trophy, and he's there, and he works with all the athletes, and he puts together the Heisman Trophy campaign for Nissan. You know, the Heisman House and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
I love
Which-
that.
which
yeah,
is really
that
cool
campaign's great.
because he'll let me know what's coming down the pike. Like I knew that Steve Spurrier was going to be out there without no shirt, without a shirt,
Yeah.
no shirt. Man, sounds like I'm in Tennessee,
No, that's
which
about right.
I was. So thank you.
To describe the situation, I
here's
think
that-
you used
yeah, right.
proper
He's
grammar.
he's a family
Right.
friend of ours because my dad played with him.
That is
He
so
just
cool.
he just saw him last weekend.
That
This
is
is my
so
impression of him talking to my dad. Larry? That's it. That's all I got.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, Nissan.
Yeah.
You know, he's in Nissan. John Fish. He was familiar that
Fishy.
the previous owner or sponsor for Nissan Stadium, Titan Stadium,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Titans football stadium, that they were going to be backing out.
Oh, they got a Titan truck.
Right.
too,
Yeah,
down
I
there.
know, I know.
Nice.
So he was the one that pitched the idea to Nissan, and he was the one that pitched the idea to the Titans.
And Nissan's got a factory in Tennessee.
They do.
Yeah.
They do,
Mm.
right? They have
Yeah.
their big headquarters in Tennessee as well,
Yeah.
right? And
That is
Franklin,
a weird tidbit to know.
Tennessee. There you
They
go.
all moved out of California and they went over to Texas, then the Southeast, because they got such badass tax credits.
Right.
Like I remember
Oh,
Georgia has,
wait. Are you telling me that if you have high tax credits
Right,
somewhere that,
right.
that it may prompt a business to move somewhere else?
I have a running email
Who
with,
knew?
with my buddies in LA. I lived out there for 5 years. I got a good group of friends out there, but we have one called the Crazy Debate, Florida versus California. I know I'm on the losing end a lot of the time just because of Florida man stories.
Right.
But what I say is we're externally crazy here and we're taking care of everybody
Right.
else's shitty
They
family
hide it.
right.
that moves down
Right,
here to start a
right.
second life.
Right.
So you should be fucking buying me a shot at the airport if you know I'm
100%.
from
And a
Florida.
cigar. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll smoke it in the airport.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
Right,
No,
right.
and then my what I contend is California is imploding from the inside. It's crazy on the inside.
Well,
right?
they don't
Oh.
have the sunshine laws that
They didn't
show,
have
that
water
have,
2
yeah,
years
but,
ago.
but like we get all these crazy Florida man stories because they're public. Like,
yeah.
not every state has the sunshine law that it gives you access to everybody who gets arrested and all that, or whatever it is. I don't know exactly.
One out of
but-
every 8 people live in California. 1 out of every 38 people live in LA County. It's the second biggest land-wise county after Jacksonville.
Right.
But it's like there's fucking 20 million. Like Riverside alone has 10 million people in
It's nuts.
it, and that's inland. That's like inland.
And
that's
how-
not even LA. You
And
think
how
about.
many of them are living in tents?
The homeless epidemic. They have like the bubonic plague or something like typhus.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah. I mean,
So my contention is they're imploding. They bought the school's iPads and all of them just they
Did they
spend
disappear?
more than anybody and
No.
they get less results out of anything.
Yeah.
So
it's-
anyway,
so, where were we?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're right here at Sweat Equity Studios.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to.
You were in the middle of I derailed you from something.
I don't know.
Sam?
Well, we were talking about dentistry stuff. Any
yeah,
tidbits I could
Well,
get.
It comes back
you know,
to you
just throw
because
it.
you want to know how. to
It's
save
all
money.
about me.
All right,
Is it
right,
a woman-owned
right.
business? I
Right.
forgot to ask that. Are you on there?
Nope,
as a-
it's all woman.
Okay,
All
so
right.
there's grants for that locally. I know
Oh,
with Hillsborough County. So
yeah,
in your area, you should look that up if you have a
We're-
minority or woman-owned
the
business.
people
or,
around this table,
Uh-huh.
we're being discriminated against. I'm definitely being discriminated against because
dude, being a white male,
I know.
fucking
it's
so
over
tough.
40, baby.
It's-
Over 40.
Oh my God, you're the devil
I know.
Yeah.
I am.
to
yeah.
BuzzFeed.
Yeah, I guess
We're the worst.
Once,
You're Louis C.K., which equals your Cosby.
yeah. All of a sudden, I wake up one day and I guess I'm now racist and bigoted and
Right.
what's up with that? Homophobic? Yeah.
Someone tried to call me racist. I was like, I didn't marry a white person. Like,
Yeah.
What proof do you need?
Yeah.
More than that, I don't know.
I don't know.
You know,
It's just-
like,
yeah.
I think some people get really. It's the only people that bitch to me about like, whoa, buddy, whoa,
Yeah.
you're getting. I can't believe you just said that at this buffet or whatever. I'm at Golden Corral.
this
this
political
situation-
This is
correct,
when you talk about your marriage on the podcast.
No, but,
politically correct crap.
Look, it's
Drives
just,
me up a
what it is. What it is.
Yeah.
But my kids are mixed.
We used to be
race.
able to tell
I mean,
jokes. You're a comedian. We
I
used to
know.
be able to tell jokes about this.
I know
Hey,
people
you're
are
preaching to the choir here.
People are super sensitive, but it's never anybody that's not like a white chick that's telling me this, like freaking out, like, oh, I can't believe you said that at brunch, and you're like, hey man, look, I
Right.
don't wear I don't have pleats in my khakis. I'm fucking gangster.
Right.
We're at brunch. I'm having a good time. And by the way, my friend laughed at the joke I made about him,
Yeah.
and he said something back to me
Yeah.
that I look like a lesbian lead singer of Creed or something. You know? Or I look
Just
like,
gone with regular lead singer.
or I look like retarded Jake Owen. That's a new one I got.
Jake Owen, who's that?
He'll be headlining the Pig Jig in Tampa.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in October. So anyway, what other nuggets do you have? Where are we at?
Where
30.
are we?
30, okay.
Do we have how much time?
We got plenty of
You'll
time.
get a,
We
you'll
got
get a
no
2
limits.
minute. You'll get a 2 minute warning.
Oh, sweet.
Sound
Sweet.
at some point. Yeah. What other nuggets do you got?
All right. Well,
wait. I want to go.
actually.
I
Okay.
want to go back to the psychology of you telling the answer. Right.
Right.
Hey, I have experience.
Right.
I've helped so many businesses.
Right.
I used to get really frustrated by this. Lately, I don't anymore. I just
Right.
go, look, I'm going to give this advice to you. That's kind of where the podcast is too.
Right.
I'll give this advice out. This is a way to kind of help people because I can't answer every email or every text I get from friends that need some kind of advice or whatever. So the idea is like duplicate your voice, help them and help everybody else.
Right.
At the same time, what I used to get frustrated was the expected outcome that they would go do it or be thankful that you're telling them what's going on. And I don't
Right.
have that at all. I just go, here's the advice I'll give you. And now I don't give a shit.
Right.
Right. I'm not invested literally or figuratively,
Right.
you know, like you are with some of these, but when you told that restaurant owner, hey, you just lost $5,000.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
You basically, by being like careless.
Right.
And you could have really find yourself.
I didn't say that. I was just trying to say, hey, if you do this, this, and this, here's what you could save.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm giving a shorthand, but
right, right.
I actually want to hear it how you said it because the way I just said it does sound like disciplined dad, right?
Yeah.
And
but,
that won't get through.
correct. No, but that's not how I said it. The first thing I did.
Right.
And this is what really.
So how did you?
It really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because.
Okay. Good.
So the day before.
That's what he was looking for.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the day before.
I'm empathetic.
We're
towards
having
it,
a conversation, and it was a great conversation. And I said, I don't know if you can do what you're saying that you're doing, but I'm not 100% positive.
Yeah.
Let me do some research, and I'll see if I can find some information. I'll send it to you.
Right.
All right. So I got up at 4:15 in the morning because
Yeah.
I had a big day.
You and Eric. Yeah.
Right. So I
Right
got
on.
up at 4:15 and I went online and I did research because I knew I had articles, but they weren't the most
It's the first
recent
thing you did
articles,
when you woke up.
right?
You're like,
So,
gotta
to the
get
articles.
that follow
I gotta
up.
get that.
To the literature.
Simple pleasure in life for me is to get up and get that first cup of coffee,
Sure.
and
sure,
then
sure.
watch
Oh,
the sun
yeah.
come up. Isn't that? I mean, just
I did it this morning.
I
was
get to watch
running.
the sun come up and go down. That is a great day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I get up, I start doing research because I want to find a recent article, and I found one in April of 2019. Perfect, right? I type out an email, I send it to her, right? Nice email, right? The second that I called her, which was later on in the morning,
Yeah. Ooh, double follow up. Nice.
she was mad. And I guess it was because the article tells her she can't do what what she said that she was doing. And I said, I don't think
I
you
didn't
may
really
or may not be able
write
to do
the
that, right?
article.
You also don't want to give legal advice or like
That's the 2-minute warning.
like for real.
Yeah.
I know I always keep it open ended. I don't think you can do this.
Right. That's what I said.
Let me check. I'll do the
Right.
same thing.
Right.
But I never be absolute with that
Right.
answer, right?
Right.
Because I know where my holes in my game are.
Right.
But I do know like, hey, if you're starting any kind of brand, get an LLC like immediately. It's $150. Some form of protection.
Right.
Right.
It's just like,
Like,
it's like
That's
CPAs
basic bitch shit.
and attorneys. There are a lot of really good CPAs and a lot of really good attorneys. But you can turn on the radio or the news, read an article about CPAs and attorneys that have screwed over their clients every day
Right.
of the week. And just because they have that designation doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about. They know their field,
Yeah.
right? They know their craft.
Right.
That doesn't make them a good business person. That
Mhm.
doesn't make them a good consultant. That doesn't mean that they can look at that 10,000-foot view of that business and say, this is what you should be doing here, 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 here.
Right.
Right. And I'd venture to say, I won't
You
I won't get
want
into that.
here's
Anyway,
what you want. You want a CPA. You challenge anybody you hire, right?
I challenge CPAs all the time.
But I would only hire, this would be a qualification, hire a business attorney or CPA that has a business outside of that profession.
That's a kind of a tall order, don't you think?
No, because most of the good ones, the ones that have the motor, they've got it.
So a lot of them do. A lot of them because they know what they're talking about. That's exactly right.
They need to empathize with the client.
But I would strongly encourage getting together with a quality like Ed. Ed, let me tell you,
man, a lot of Ed love.
I
all praise.
You know,
I love Ed.
I spent
Ed's drop knowledge like walking by. Like
I've done integrated business logistics and document management solutions for about 35 years.
Yeah.
I worked with a lot of really big companies. If I told you guys what I've done and how I've set up companies nationwide, right, it'd probably make your head spin. But I went to a seminar performed by Ed. This was back at the beginning of the year. I just come off of a cruise.
Yeah.
I purchased the drink package on the cruise. It was my son and my college roommate.
Important to the story.
It is important because
Skinner cruise.
We maximize that drink package every single day. We did not go to bed until we maximized it. But usually we were drinking other stuff throughout the day. So long story short, by the end of the cruise, the last thing I wanted to do was to go to a seminar.
Man, that Kid Rock cruise is awesome.
But I did not want to go to the seminar. I wanted to go home. I wanted to crash. I went to the seminar. I started listening to what Ed was talking about. And I said, this guy is brilliant. And he was the one that helped pull back that curtain from the CPA and the attorney. What he was saying, it was a standpoint of marketing and legal advice and the taxes and, just everything surrounding a business. The guy is brilliant. He knows what he's talking about. And that's who you want consulting your business.
He's our business pastor. That's what I look at him as.
He's
right
a business ninja.
And
that's cooler. That's way cooler. Business ninja.
Okay. But ninja pastor.
Yeah.
All right. Ronin.
Oh, that's a good. That's got so many possibilities.
All right.
All right. I guess we're out, man.
Thanks, Tyson.
You can come back on anytime, man.
Dude.
What about my sweat equity?
Awesome.
Call us on our line 813-433-0403. Leave a message. And hashtag girthy ROI. Hashtag B2B69.
SweatEquityPod.com.
What about my sweat equity?